You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Hello, it's me. I've thought about us for a long, long time.
The time is 9:23 on the 7th day of March. We are less than a month away from the consolidated election. It felt like 3 years ago yesterday, but now it feels like every day is turning into a second, Rosie.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How's life treating you?
Life is treating me really good. I still am encouraged. I am ignited, and I am determined to continue to move forward.
Well, and I really appreciate you coming on. You are the current 4th Ward Alderwoman for the city of Alton, and this is your first time running for re-election in this position. How, just to dive right into this, just your different takeaways from, running as a challenger the last time and now running as an incumbent. If you could take me through the different takeaways you have in this race compared to the last one that you were a part of.
Well, in this race, I have made a track record. My greatest accomplishment is empowering the people of the 4th Ward. So I was able to dive in. They learned me. I learned them. They trusted me. They began to embrace their neighborhoods because of the fact that I poured into them how important it was for them to do that. So when I first ran, I was always a worker in my community. I always did great things in my community. And I said, well, things aren't moving the way it should move in our ward. So I am going to dive into this election and hopefully become that 4th Ward person, become that leader of the people in that ward, giving them hope, giving them a chance to be a part of. And I tell you, like I said, the biggest accomplishment is that I've empowered them to maneuver through the city. They know about the city councils. They know who to reach out to for whatever concerns they have. They do still come to me, but they are equipped.
Well, and I think, and I've had multiple conversations with other alder people about this, is a lot of times it's just getting the information out there on, what the proper procedures are or what the proper protocols are for, certain situations, whether it's for infrastructure, public safety, or there's just a common complaint that needs to be heard. In the 4 years that you've been or now going on 4 years that you've been in office, is there a conversation that you've had or, a project out of the list that you've brought with you today that you're most proud of?
Yes, I am most proud of being there for my constituents once a month. Every third Thursday, I implemented a 4th Ward monthly meeting. And I tell you, they show up. They want to know. They inquire. And they are very appreciative of being educated about our community, being informed of what goes on at City Hall. And I've also asked them and invited them to come to our meetings, and some of them do show up. So they're like, we didn't even know all this was going on. Thank you so much. And at one time I said, well, let's change it to quarterly meetings. They're like, no, we want to do this every month. We want to be here. And they are.
Does that energize you when you know that your constituents are ready to keep having those conversations?
Yes, very much so. And I make sure that I am equipped and informed enough to be able to share with them. And that's what keeps them going,
And if it's okay, I just started the show off, of course, with top of the hour news, and we ended the newscast with the rally that was held yesterday. Wanted to ask you about that, if that's okay. Just your thoughts on how the rally was attended, your takeaways on it, and then what your thoughts are going forward, really, on addressing this issue.
As everyone know, I am a big advocate of gun violence in our city. Gun violence have become a little bit out of control. So I stepped up along with other community activists and constituents and citizens and said, hey, let's do something about this. So we've been meeting, we've been planning. And so on Saturday, the man whose son almost got shot, he had to hit the floor, and his dad came out and ran after the perpetrator. But he was so ignited. He said, Rosie, let's not wait until Thursday, March 6th. Let's get this walk going on Saturday. Yeah. And I mean, just at last minute, people were just coming from everywhere. The walk was awesome on Saturday. And then the next event was just yesterday, and I was just so elated at the people who showed up, the concern, the passion. Words were spoken, and it was just so unified. So Alton, Illinois is a city where we're going to protect it. You know, it's supposed to be a child-friendly city. We can't have the guns just laying around. We can't just have the random shootings, the isolated shootings. Let's stop it. And it was evident on yesterday that everybody was all in at this rally.
And especially during, election season, it seems like, folks really did come together for this greater cause. And going forward, and this is, obviously there's so much more at play here and so many more conversations when it comes to what the best way to address this issue is. But do you have any thoughts going forward on what you would like to see happen? Yes,
because I had gotten phone calls. Well, Rosie, why this incident? Number one, this incident went way beyond the norm.
True.
This incident, a school bus was shot at. I mean, so many could have gotten injured. And I just want to commend Tammy Hogue and the Monitor for how they reacted and saved the lives of many children on that day.
100%. Yes.
Yeah, so they're very much commended. So I would just like to say, as mentioned on yesterday, a task force should be put in place, not only to address certain shootings, but to just be on top of this at all times. So a lot of the community people, aldermen, alderwomen, will more than likely play a big part in this task force.
Interesting. Well, and going forward in this conversation too, what have been some of the concerns that you've heard, from your constituents, and like you've pointed out, not just as you're hearing them in the couple of months leading up to this, but in your Ward 4 meetings that you've been having. What have been the common concerns of the Fourth Ward?
Well, the common concerns of the Fourth Ward, number one, is shootings. And it's always, well, where are the guns coming from? So we're still kind of mind-boggling and wondering about that. So, but I do want to commend our police force. They do very well at getting guns off the street. Mm-hmm. They do very well at solving these
they are
crimes.
Good.
They are so right. Good. So we commend them. And then also our streets are, mm-hmm. somewhat of a concern, but those are being taken care of. Litter, dumping, programs for our children. They want more programs in our neighborhood for our children, because a lot of the parents don't have transportation to get all the way across town. And some of our centers are already overbooked where they can't take any more children into their after-school programs. So we're looking for more things for our youth in our city to do.
Interesting. And with that, too, it seems like what I always find fascinating about the Consolidated and really just about a lot of these elections is when you bring it back down to the community, it really does revolve around, a lot of those 4 or 5 core issues. Mm-hmm. And, whenever you were becoming alderwoman in these last 4 years, what were some of the ways you learned to kind of tackle those issues? Was it, learning the procedures? Was it collaboration that was your tool of choice? Because there's so much at play there that gets those objects moving forward, and just curious to know your thoughts on that.
Well, my first 2 or 3 meetings with my constituents, I kind of peeped what their interests were. Yeah. So I listened to them, and then I tapped in on some of the top concerns that they have. And one of the biggest ones, there's a park in Alton that most of them do visit, and that is Salou Park, mm-hmm. James Killian Park. And they were like, Rosie, why are there still porta potties at this park, and also at some other parks in my ward? I said, that is a concern, has always been a concern, and I will make that one of my top priorities. And I am proud to say that I was able to get a resolution along with my fellow councilman and the mayor, a resolution pushed through to get brand new restrooms at Killian Park after over 30 years. So that's one of my biggest accomplishments as well. And I'll be working on Killian Park and Rock Spring. And also another thing, we really need things for our children. So there's a brand new soccer court at Rock Spring Park.
The mini pitch, it's wonderful. Mm-hmm. Damian Jones did a good job with everybody on that.
Yes, he did. So that's really good. And I often push activities in our park. Families come out the house, bring your kids, go enjoy your parks. So I'm really going to look at upgrades for our parks.
You know, you hit on something though when given that answer that I think is so important too, and that was, you know, talking about the other council members and talking about collaborations with the mayor's office and the mayor, and how important, you know, is that collaboration? Do you think, and if you could, do you think that this council did a good job of getting along together and moving items forward? Just in your perspective, where you are.
We've had some obstacles. We really have. We've not always agreed.
Right.
But for the most part, we were able to get a lot of resolutions passed. We were able to make sure our city still stayed afloat. So we came together when we needed to come together the most. Yes.
It's a great answer, and I appreciate that response too. Do you have a moment to stick around?
Yes.
We're getting our conversation just started with the 4th Ward Alderwoman as we are preparing. Oh, I didn't put a space in between Ward and Alder. I always mess something up, Rosie. I am so good at that. Hey, but that's okay because we are talking about the state of the race 2025 as we are less than a month away from April the 1st. We'll take a quick break. More Daily Show on RiverBender.com next.
Get access to care for anyone, anywhere, at any time. No appointments, no waiting rooms, no traveling. OSF on call.
Village Dispensary has the best deals in Godfrey, Illinois with specials 5 days a week. Mondays roll in the week with 20 to 30% off select pre-rolls. Tasty Tuesdays enjoy 20 to 30% off select edibles. Waxy Wednesdays enjoy 20 to 30% select concentrate and vape brands. Thirsty Thursdays sip and save with 20 to 30% off all drinks. Flower Friday grabs like 3.5 gram flower deals starting at just $20. Village Dispensary, come meet your best buds.
Picture This and More has been a trusted name in the Alton community for more than 30 years, with the last 3 being right here on Broadway. We specialize in quality framing at affordable prices. We also feature works by local artists because we're proud of our community. If you have valued treasures to display and preserve, we're sure to have the perfect fit with our large selection of custom framing and display options. Whatever color, shape, or size, Picture This and More has the look you need. Stop by today and let us help you with your next project.
Looking for the best barbecue in Madison County? Head over to Carver's Barbecue in Godfrey, Illinois. From loaded barbecue nachos to mouth-watering pulled pork, brisket, ribs, and more, Carver's serves up award-winning flavors you'll love. Family-owned, Carver's is all about fresh, made in-house dishes served daily. Come visit us at 2716 Groveland in Godfrey, or give us a call at 618-467-9999. Order online, get it catered, or stop by for the best smoked meats around. Where great flavors meet family tradition, you'll find Carver's Barbecue.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
The time is 9:38 on the 7th day of March. Welcome back. State of the Race 2025. I realize why there's no space, Alderwoman Brown. That's because I ran out of characters on my screen there.
Oh.
I'll switch it around here. So I'll do some magic. I'll make it work.
Okay. Or you can just put, cause you don't have, probably don't have to put Rosie. I think they.
Yeah, I think they know who you are by now. You know, with that being said, you know, you also, you know, in your previous careers, you know, were a school board member, weren't you? Mm-hmm. You know, did that prepare you at all for this this city council seat, or is it two different ecosystems?
That, along with just my life period, my upbringing. By my mother and father, I was brought up in a religious atmosphere. I'm from a great big family. I have 8 siblings. So in that, I was taught how to get along, how to treat people with respect, how to do the right things, how to just be a sound person. Yeah. And so that, along with being elected to the school board and being able to collaborate with those people and how to, you know, show up, that helped as well. And then many other organizations and many other mentors, they played a big hand in what I'm doing.
Well, and, you know, as you're running this time around too, have you been able to, you know, connect? And because I have seen a post where you had some former Fourth Ward Alder people that were, you know, supporting you and along for the ride. Have they been mentors along the way for you too?
Yes, especially the former Fourth Ward members. Bill Keller, he's right there, and we show up sometimes at the bowling alley, and we sit and we talk and we chat. And I kind of dived in. Hey, what can I do? How can I do it? What made you so successful? So he has shared a lot. And then Mr. Former Alderman Albert Charleston, he's still in my ward, and he's a wise guy, and he shared a lot with me and have encouraged me along the way. And then former Alderman Fred Young, he is now in Vegas, but we have talked several times over the phone.
Lucky him.
Yeah. and I got a surprise call from him about a month ago. Hey, I'm for you. I'm endorsing you. So I've gotten 3 endorsements from some great former aldermen right there. They led the Fourth Ward. They spent a lot of time. They gave a lot of time in that ward, and they were like, Rosie, right on, you're doing a great, and we want you to continue to lead this ward.
And, you know, whenever you're receiving those, or whenever that happens, I'm sure that's got to just, you know, again, just be like those quarterly meetings or the monthly meetings, not quarterly, where it just gives you that, you know, jolt of energy to keep you moving. Because we were talking, you know, during the break, Alderwoman Brown, just a tiny bit about, you know, some of the social media stuff that's, you know, gone on. And I, you know, if it's okay, you know, I just kind of wanted to ask you about it, because it is, you know, floating out there with, you know, some of these posts. And I don't necessarily, you know, put too much weight into anything I read online, number one. But just what are your thoughts as, you know, you're kind of marching towards the finish line, and it seems like, you know, out of, you know, a lot of the aldermanic races, yours is heavily being focused on here.
Yeah. Well, I know that mine is heavily being focused on because of the great work that I've done. And I have established a platform for anybody that would walk into this seat to say, hey, I'm here. She's done it, but I'm getting ready to take the crown. Well, no, this is what I want to tell anybody that has put out anything negative about me. You know, you really don't have to stoop that low, because number one, everybody has a past, and a lot of things that are said may not be true and may be true. But I am always available for conversation. But I will promise you, as the Fourth Ward Alderwoman, I would never slam anybody. Yes, I love what I'm doing. Yes, I want to remain your alderperson, but I would never stoop so low to try to degrade anybody on this journey. I've earned it. I'll continue to be that person for you. I'll continue to be available. And if you just look at what I'm doing, you could say, oh, okay, you know, she's a great person. She's true to the game. She's a great leader, and she can do this.
And, following up on that, too, I wanted to close because I know that we're running out. We have about 5 minutes left, and I really appreciate that response. And I, number one, appreciate the fact that you would be willing to talk about it, too. And, but I wanted to end on just some of that youth work, too, because I feel like that's only fair if, if we're going to talk about, maybe some of the nastier parts of a campaign, to also talk about some of the good, too. And, with the youth, with the field trips to raging rivers and making sure the community's coming together, I feel like it's only fair to talk a little bit about that. With that being said, what are you most proud of when it comes to your youth work? I know that there's a couple of different things that you're a part of, and I'd love to give you the time to showcase that.
Yes. As you all know, as the 4th Ward Alderwoman of this city, I've poured into our youth throughout the years. Even with some of my own funding, I have taken them to the skating rink. I've taken them to raging rivers. We do 4th Ward picnics. We do 4th Ward book bag giveaways. We do Easter egg hunts. And our youth, they, without a shadow of a doubt, they look forward to this every year. So as the Alderwoman and my great committee, which I've said, the 4th Ward members have become so empowered, so engaged, so they have embraced being a part of all of these events that there is no way that this would not continue. Even if, God forbid, I don't win this seat, I will still help take the lead on these different opportunities for our children, because it's well needed in our community. We just went through a lot of gun violence, and if we just keep them engaged, I think a lot of that'll settle down.
Absolutely. And with that being said, I appreciate your time coming on the show today. And before I let you go, what's your couple of final thoughts too? If someone's, sitting there in the 4th Ward today, and maybe out of some weird way, because I think everyone's mind's close to being made up by now, or should be. What is your thought to them? If they're maybe on the fence and they don't know if they're 100% with another round with Rosie Brown, what's your final message to them today on that?
Well, my final message is I am asking that you give another round to Rosie Brown. And I'm very educated. I've obtained my master's degree in human resources. I am very interested in home ownership, which I made available within my 4th Ward through Hampton Homes. I am very much engaged with our seniors, our children, just our community as a whole. I very much support the funding that comes through our city and it being appropriated in the right ways. Infrastructure, just call me. My constituents know that I get back with them within 24 hours. So I do answer my phone. I do collaborate with my people. So.
Alderwoman Brown, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll take a quick break and more conversations with local leaders and elected officials, candidates, as we get closer and closer to April the 1st. More on that on Monday as we link everything in an article that previews all of that and takes you to those past conversations on RiverBender.com. We'll take a quick break, and I know that regardless, I'll be talking with you again soon for, the Socks for Tots drives and everything else. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
More Daily Show next.